Well, there's my heater all wired in. I've got the power wire running up the inside here. Works real well. I just have to ground it here. Let me see if I can get it grounded with one hand. Maybe that'll do it. It's turned on. Yeah, let me get this thing working. I don't know what's wrong. Wasn't nothing wrong. I just had it set real low. It was running. I just couldn't hear it. So the heater works, blows a lot of air. So this'll all be good. All my dash lights and stuff are working. I'll take this ground right over here, and this side will be pretty much cleaned up. I'll clean up some of these, like that big yellow wire, and I still have to wire this stuff. I'll figure out some way of routing that so it's not in the way. And this is kind of the last leg, and then I'll have to go over there and clean up that steering wheel business. I'll make some kind of cover for it, I think. But anyway, seats, my die for my seats came. I'll show you something about them things that's a little weird. This one's been over here and dry. It's got a certain color to it. But I got some packages in and they had a little water on them. And I spilled a few drops here, and then I just wiped it with a rag, and you can see that the dye started coming off. And I used this dye rag that I put it on with. So, you know, I like that. It's a brighter red color. That's what I want. So before I go dyeing this, I think I'm gonna just use water in my spray gun. I don't have a squirt gun. Just paint it with water and wipe it all down and see what it looks like. I can always dye it again, you know. But I think it's going to take that dark color off of the dye and make it look pretty good. Well, after I got water on these seats, I had a couple drips and it turned it really red. So I put some water in a spray gun and just sprayed this. It turned it pretty red. I'm gonna take a rag now and wipe it off, see what it looks like. Well, it's taking the dye off. As long as it's wet, it looks redder. But the minute that it starts to dry out, it goes back to the dull color. I think I'll have to put some kind of a finisher on it to make it stable. Well, I got another bottle of dye here, and these only had 2 coats, so I'm gonna try to put one more coat on here and wipe that off and see what this looks like. Well, good morning, guys. I started trying to put some of this weather strip in. I use that glass primerless silicone. It's pretty tough stuff. I tried to get it in here as best I could. I got it pretty straight, and I got it braced flush up against that aluminum. I don't know if I got enough in there to hold it. It shouldn't be a lot of pressure on it. And since I got my squirt thing open here. This one had almost hardened up, but I used another good nozzle, and I was able to use some more of it on this. And on the other side here, I also kind of sealed that window. It's not the best looking in the world, but they're both pretty good. And I won't have to throw this stuff away. I don't use a whole tube of it, and I don't have the pieces cut for this yet. To hold it against the window tight, it looked like I needed about 1/8 of an inch on each side. So I haven't done this one. I haven't even cut the pieces for it. But I do have them both cut over there. So I just glued that one in. We'll see what's happening with that. Now I got these seats finally dyed. I'm waiting for some sealer for them. They look pretty good. Not as good as I expected or was hoping, but I'm going to go ahead and put these seats in now. I'm done dyeing, and so while this stuff's hardening up, I'll go ahead and see what I can do about putting the seat in. I got a little carpet to cut here. I might do that before I put that seat in, but at least I can get one driver's seat in so I can drive it. And we'll just kind of press on here. I didn't put any spacer in this. I don't know how tight that window seal is going to be. I might have to take it off and do something else. I was kind of planning on putting a piece of this sticky rubber in there to space it out, but I'll just put it together and we'll go drive it and see what it does. If it leaks air, I can probably get in there with a razor blade or something, cut that apart, and put a spacer in it. Anyway, I'm just trying to use up my glue here. I'll try to take it apart and cap it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. This stuff hardens really bad. Well, that part's done. I cut the carpet. I was able to get these wires back here, and I was put a metal screw. You can't see it, but it's grounded real good right there. And then my side panel will go back in. I'll probably glue that carpet and staple it. But seat's in. Got to put a bolt on the bottom of it. But looks like this is, yeah, this glue's hard pretty much. I could take these out without any risk. Yeah. It's a ways away from the glass. So So I have to figure out how to space this inside one here to kind of put pressure on it. But anyway, I know this technique works, so I'm sure this is plenty strong because I can't even get a finger in it, and I know that that glue is super strong. So now I'll have to figure out what I'm going to use on a spacer for this one, or if I am, and pull this channel out, glue it in. Like and subscribe if you get any value out of this, guys. I'm learning a lot. Well, here's kind of the result of that. Both seats are in. I've got the bolts lined up here on the bottom. This one was kind of difficult because of those adapters I made. But anyway, I got the seats in. They look pretty good. The color matches. The seats look good enough. They're obviously used, but they have a real nice kind of feel to them. Whole car's used anyway, so doesn't make any difference. It's a rat rod. Well, I did quite a bit more work here on the Jag. I've been jumping around. I got a fan running in here and blowing all the water out. But I was able to take this bucket off of the pump. It looks like it's got some dirt in it, but it's used as torque screws. There were 3 of them here on the top, and I was able to take the pump out of this bracket. I took the pump inside. It had these, tool clamping things, so I had to cut them off, but I got it out and I think it's all okay. I didn't really bend anything too bad. I can smell a lot of fuel in it. It's set here for a couple days with the doors closed, but I got a fuel pump ordered. I'll show you that other fuel pump. I took it apart, tried to see what was wrong with it, but I couldn't. I'm back here on the Chrysler seats. I've got it kind of set in there. The brackets next to the driver's seat over there are not really lining up well. I struggled with this a couple hours. I finally got it where I think it's in the hole. So I'm going to jack it up now, and I'm going to crawl under it and see if I can get some nuts on it. Some of this is going to be difficult because it's right under the mufflers. I'll have to get way under it in order to put nuts on it. Well, there it is in there solid. It's not going anywhere. I used 4 big washers on it. It was really close to that frame, so it was a real bitch to get in. I got these things here, aluminum plates. I'm gonna put them in here like this. Door threshold. I'll just screw them in. They look pretty good. I may just put it in the front. But anyway, that passenger seat is in now, and it's good and strong. So, and the driver's side is setting down good, so it won't be too bad to get the nuts on that. This one was a kind of a nightmare trying to get those big spacers I had. But anyway, passenger seat's in now, solid. Well, the bolts here on the driver's seat, the outside ones, I can't get a nut on them. They're right flush with the bottom of the floorboard, and there's just no room to get a nut. So that means this driver's seat's got to come out. I've got the two left bolts in it. They're tight, but I'm going to have to cut these off and weld a longer bolt in it so it'll go through the floorboard. And it's just way loose, too loose to try to drive with it. So anyway, pull that seat out and cut them bolts off and press on. Kind of lucked out. I was thinking about trying to weld a bolt on here, but I cut the head of this off with the cut-off tool, and I was able to get a hold of it with a pair of channel locks and tear it out, and I got a nice long bolt there. You can see where this was. You know, this is a good ½ inch longer. That's what I needed. So that'll be enough to get me a bolt on there. Now I have to flip this seat up, get back here to this back one, cut it off and do the same thing. Alright, got those two in. This back one was a little easier to get out. I had a better angle at it. Anyway, I got those two bolts in, and the two on the other side. So this should be sticking through a good ½ inch or so. Enabled me to get a nut on it, and maybe kind of close to that frame, but these bolts are loose, so I can move them around quite a bit and get under there and see what I can do. Well, you're in and solid. I need to do something with that plastic there, bring it down. I didn't wire it up yet. I need to run this one over here inside the car, and I think I'll take it over there to, not sure. I got some pretty good room here to run a hot wire in for the seats. I want to have pretty good current to it, so I'll probably just go over there straight to the battery. I'll crawl under it, figure that out. My sealer ought to be coming here in the next day or so, so I can rub these seats down real good, and hopefully it'll keep the dye from coming off. Yeah, it'll be a little more difficult with them in the car, but I'm glad to get them up out of the floor and back in the car. Now I can drive it, you know, so I need to get this kind of under control and get that Camaro back over here and fix the wipers on it. I'm almost done with it. Leather sealer came today, leather finish, and rubbed on, let it dry, and I rubbed it off. And supposed to do small places at a time, but anyway, I did this whole seat. You can tell it's a lot shinier. It's just I don't know how well the camera's doing. The other one's kind of orange red, but this one's nice and glossy, and that one there is sort of flat looking. So it'll look a lot better. It'll shine up much better. So hopefully that'll keep the dye from coming off on your hands and seal it against water. And it's starting to look pretty good.